Hey guys, what's going on? Coach JR here, back with another video, coming straight from Bangkok, Thailand, here in my gym, Lion's Boxing Academy. Now today I want to talk to you guys about the small details that matters, right? I'm going to fix some of the problems that you have regarding your bad habits that you've built and so on and so forth. A lot of times, people pay attention to the big things like the power, the speed, so on and so forth, you know, copying styles, but you forget to pay attention to the details that actually matters that will make your game a whole lot better. So let me show you a few things that can make your boxing training a whole lot better, avoid injuries, make it more efficient, effective, and so on and so forth. So if you're ready, let's go. All right, tip number one, elbow flaring. So a lot of times you see people do this. They have their elbows wide open and they punch, or this is what we call unfolding, right? So they're doing this, they're doing that, that means the elbow's flaring. So what I want you to do is find a vertical surface area, a wall, or like this bag right here. And I'm gonna show you how to fix this problem ASAP. Watch. Here's what I want you to do. So now you found a wall or a vertical surface area. I want you to stand right close to it. So this one, I'm gonna fix my jab because the jab is the one that usually flares out, right? So I'm gonna stand with my elbow close to the wall or to the vertical surface area, about an inch, inch and a half. I'm gonna keep it tight right here. Now when I punch, I wanna make sure that my elbow does not make contact with that wall. So when I'm punching, I'm right there. I'm right there, right? I'm avoiding that flaring because every time I touch this, that means that my elbow is flaring, so we don't want that. So keep it right here, keep the elbow tucked in, bust out that punch without touching that wall, all right? All right, next tip, turning the punch. Now a lot of times beginners, when they punch too straight like this. What happens is that when they make contact with the bag, it slips off this way or that way, hurting your wrist. So what I want you to do is simply turn that punch 35 degrees, just like so, right? What this does is that it guarantees the first two biggest knuckles on the target, and it becomes a protective chain all around your arm. So when you turn that punch, that wrist becomes protected by the forearm. The forearms get protected by the triceps by the shoulders. And when you turn that punch, that shoulder automatically hikes up, giving you a guard for your jaw. Boom. See? Right there. Bam. Okay? So that's tip number two. All right, tip number three, a short cross, right? Now, how do you throw a little bit more power in a short cross if you only have a short distance to work from? Now, if you don't know what you're doing, this is how your short cross is gonna look like from a very short distance. There's not much power you can do with it, right? So in order for you to be able to get half of that body weight into the punch, I suggest you get that elbow up and drive that punch from nose, chin, chest, right? So it looks like this. So if I only have this much space to work from, boom, I'm right there. I'm getting my elbow up and driving that punch, nose, chin, chest. Bam. See? I'm able to get more oomph into the punch and be able to like transfer more of my weight into the back. All right, tip number four, rolling or ducking. Whenever you're ducking down, do not look up to your opponent's face. You have no business looking up there, right? When you look up there, this is what happens. Your chin pops up. Every time your chin pops up, your head pops up too, right? So that means you have more chances of getting clipped to the side of your head as you're rolling down. Whenever you're rolling down or ducking down, tuck that chin, look at the person's chest. What you're trying to look for is the other elbow. If he punches like that and you roll it and the other elbow is not there as you're going up, there's a punch waiting for you upstairs. Make sense? All right, so stop doing this. Duck down, chin down. Got it? All right, next tip. Uppercuts can be tricky and also can cause injury if not executed properly. When you throw an uppercut and you land prematurely like this, there's a big chance you're gonna jack up your thumb because that thumb is gonna be the first one to land on the target, right? So make sure that when you throw that uppercut, your palm is facing you, just like so. So if I'm throwing my uppercut like this, I wanna make sure my palm is facing me. First two knuckles on the target, supported by the last two smaller knuckles, right? So I'm right here, I'm not throwing it like this, that's premature. Turn, palm facing forward, or palm facing you. All right, got it? All right, next tip, learning to punch with your hips. Most of the time, beginners usually only punch with their shoulders, making them very shoulder dominant and not using their hips which is not able to get their weight transferring to the punches, right? So here's a quick drill that I usually do with my clients or my fighters. So put your hands in the back, right? Imagine as if you have a glove attached to your hip, right? So there's a glove attached to the right side of your hip, and there's another glove attached on the left side of your hip. So if you're trying to punch with your hip, it looks like this. So see, I'm turning my hip and I'm punching with my hip. Now, what this does is that it allows you to practice snapping with your hip. Turning and throwing your hip or snapping your hip are two very different things. Turning your hip is just like this, but you have to learn how to snap your hip into the punch. So do this as a part of your shadow boxing. Keep your hands in your back and then only throw your hips when you punch. This is a hook, that's a cross right there, or that's a hook again, and that's a jab right there, all right? So always imagine you have gloves on your hips and you're punching with your hips. All right, last advice. Don't drop your left hand when you're loading up for the hook. That's what I'm talking about. So you load up for the hook and you start dropping that hand. No, you can't do that. You drop that hand, cross is gonna come straight to your jaw. So always make sure that when you're loading up for your hook, both hands are still up. Load up, both hands are still up. The hand only goes out when you turn that hook in, all right? So boom, load up, both hands up, turn that hook in. Practice, 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 practice with progression, and keep it tight, keep it safe. I wish everybody a good morning.